Alright, the Star Eagle. It's a pretty good ship, but I think there are areas that I didn't quite like, so I wanted to make changes to make it even better. I'll show you guys some of the changes, not a lot, just a few that can just make this ship even better, as well as maybe carry you out all the way to the end of the main mission, because you will need at one point a ship that can travel at least 21 light years during the campaign. And this one has 22, so you're good to go. So the first thing that I did is to add a shielded cargo. To do that, you just go to the red mile, which is in Purina system, and you go to Purina 3. You talk to the vendor inside the building, and you can buy a shielded cargo. He sells a few from small to large. I don't think you need to get any of the big ones. Just a small one, at least for me, is enough. I never always just keep contraband on my ship like it forever. I ended up always moving it to somewhere else or just selling it. So a small one, I think, is enough. And while you're there, also you may want to pick up a scan jammer. The scan jammer increases your chance of evasion, in this case by 30%. So you have three types that you can buy. The cheapest one increases by 10, then 20 and 30. So I went with the 30. By adding just a shielded cargo, I believe your chances go from 0 to 45 or 50 around there. And then the jammer will now increase that by another, in this case, another 30% to 70, 75. The next thing that I did was change the weapons. The ship comes with really good weapons, but one of the weapons is really slow firing. It's just not a fun to shoot because it's slow. It's a pulse laser. So I removed that and I swapped it to this proton beam. It fires a little bit faster and even maybe more powerful than the original ones. I kept the suppressor and I also kept the missiles. I did not upgrade those. Maybe down the line I'll do it. The other thing that I changed was to add more cargo. So I think the cargo on the original was 2,000 something. So now we double it to 4,400. And what I did was upgrade these two. The original two are the 30Ts. I think it was only 900 in cargo capacities. I upgraded them to the 40T, so it increases the capacity to 1270. And then I added another one in the middle, a larger one in the middle. Now to do that, I have to cut a little bit of weight in other areas. I believe originally this was a 3x1 at the bottom. I made it only a 2x1 just so that this part can still connect to the next level. I changed all the hubs to Deimos instead of Stroud. I do like the interior of Deimos more, and I'll show you the interior why I like them. Same thing with the top. This part used to be a 2x2. It was from Stroud, so that is also now changed to a Deimos living quarters. And on the other side, I just kept a workshop. And I think that's kind of really all you need at a workshop. Unless you do make pharmaceutical stuff, aids, you can probably replace this one, which is the control station, to something else. And the only reason why I kept this one, Stroud, is because the outside matches the cockpit better than switching it to a Deimos. Deimos at the back, this one is fine. But once I move here, it kind of looks off the outside. I also reduced the top one. I think the top also had a 2x1. I removed that one and I only made it just a companion way, a 1x1, just for the access for the docker, because otherwise you get an error. And then I replaced it with a lighter, just a structural items. After adding the additional weight, the speed, the mobility came down by quite a bit. So I added more engines, 2 more engines. And when it comes to engines, you can have a maximum power of 12. That's the combine of all the engines. So these engines, the original ones, they happen to have a max power of 2 and there were 4. So that gives you 8. That means you can have 4 more in power and 2 more engines, basically a 2 and 2. So I added these 2. more mobility, always good. Once I added the engines, I have to upgrade the reactor as well for more power. You just add whatever reactor, cheapest reactor that kind of allows you to have the engines that you have. Pretty simple. You don't have to buy always the top, the most expensive one. But if you have the credits, then go for it. And then of course I replaced the graph drive for one that will give me at least 22 light years. Other than that, the rest I think is just cosmetic, structural. So because I put this engine there, it didn't look good, so I added these wings, structural. Nothing special there. And whenever you can, always add portholes. I added here, the other side, I added on the side of it as well, and more at the back as well. This is just windows, so that when you're inside, you have windows. Just for fun, I like them. So that's pretty much it. So doing this, reducing some weight in some areas, I'm able to add more cargo space, because honestly, you don't need that many hubs. I mean, you just need the necessary ones, like the workshop, a few living spaces here just to make it look good, but no need to have too many of those. So the stats, I'm pretty happy, and overall, I think most of the stats have increased. Alright, I show you guys the interior, why I chose the Deimos one. Alright, so let's go to the interior. So I think this interior is better, more simplified this way. This is the lower one, the living quarters from Deimos, and I just like how it looks. It's just cleaner, it's more spacious as well. So Deimos always my choice. And here is the window that you add on the side, and it kind of makes the space look a little bit better, more open, if you will. This is the 2x1 control station, so the cockpit is there. I'm gonna go to the oh no, that's the cockpit, so no, the other way. Well, we'll go back to the cockpit later. So let me show you why I like the 2x2 Deimos, and it's this area is just great. This area, you have the couches, it just looks really open. That's why Deimos for me is always the main choice. More windows, the back, and more windows here. So this is the 2x2 for the Deimos. And on this side, we have the workstations, or the crafting benches, as well as the research station. So all that is in here. The only thing that you're missing is the pharmaceutical workbench. So if you want that one, you can just replace the control station for one of those, and this ship kind of gives you basically all the necessaries. The only thing I have here is basically just a companionway just for the docker, and that's it, nothing else. It's just a 1x1. Now let's go to the cockpit. The cockpit is exactly the same one. I really like the interior of this cockpit. It feels roomy, actually, much more roomy than the Nova cockpit that is 2 stories. Man, that one actually is really small, the inside. This one, pretty good space, very Star Trek, very Star Trekky, yeah, in my opinion anyways. So yeah, that is the interior of the ship. And I think having a smaller, just essential interior is also quicker to just move around. I remember the original one, it was just too big, the interior. It was just too confusing going from one side to the other one. But yeah, other than that, that's the ship. So let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions about any of the parts, let me know. I'll always try to answer them. Thank you all for watching. Guys, enjoy the game, have fun, and I'll see you all in the next video.